Earth 2020. Society is in ruins, and a virus runs rampant among the world's humble citizens. They are lost. In these dark times, three wayward nerds cross paths at the House of India and realize they are destined to be friends. And so they did. This is their story. The story of the Side Quest.
Hell yeah.
Welcome back to the Side Quest Podcast. I'm Luke.
I'm BJ.
And I'm Matt.
Before we continue on, y'all really need to subscribe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you're missing out on some banger shit, all right?
That's right.
Hit the like button, subscribe. It's 2 clicks. Like, really? You know?
Even if you don't want to like, you should still subscribe.
That's
Yeah.
right.
And even if you subscribe, you can disagree with us. Call us cucks in the comments. We don't care. Disagree with us. Just engage.
Yeah.
But, you know, also...
Somebody had a comment on one of our shorts where it was about how I don't like in Marvel movies that, like, the bad guy doesn't win. And then in it, there's a comment that said, clearly these people haven't read the comics. And I was like...
We're not talking about the comics, you fucking dick.
I was saying the point is, in the comics, bad guys win all the time. And I love that.
Yeah.
I like that. I
House of
enjoy
M is
that.
dope as fuck.
Yeah. Anyways, so comment and be wrong.
Yeah. Don't have any media literacy at all. Just be a mindless drone and subscribe.
I want to talk about something that we watched a couple days ago,
Okay.
and then what we played. But I want to get into. I don't know how the internet wasn't talking about it, but as you said, it was, last time anything like this came out, it was pandemic, and
I know what you're talking about now.
yeah, it was pandemic, and you had nothing to do but over,
And it was also in a weird month where that was like the only new thing on Netflix.
Yeah, and so what we're talking about is Tiger King. But in 2022, the same director put out another 4-episode documentary called Chimp Crazy. And if you haven't seen it,
Stop what you're
watch it.
doing now and go watch Chimp
after
Crazy.
you subscribe, so you can
Hit the subscribe button,
to
like the video, so you can come back to us really
yeah,
easily.
exactly.
Yeah, but go watch Chimp Crazy. That shit is
4 episodes.
insane. It's easy watch, do it in one sitting, and you will want to do it in one sitting. That shit was insane.
Yeah.
I came over after work while they started it, and I was like, maybe at the end of episode 1. They like
It was
paused.
just about
yeah,
there.
they
Yeah, you
paused
barely
it,
missed anything.
explained everything that happened, and then we just sat down and watched the rest of it.
Yeah.
That shit was, and like there were moments. Again, it's a documentary series. I didn't expect to be like blown away. I was just like, oh, this will be really interesting. There were moments where all three of us jaw on the ground, like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's a crazy situation where it's like real life is crazier than fiction. I couldn't have come up with the shit that happened in that show.
Yeah, it's about these women who are just obsessed with having chimpanzees.
Yeah.
And they love them more than any other thing in their life.
Including
More than
their own
kid,
biological children.
their husbands. Like at one point, like one of the kids was like, yeah, if I had any like big life events, but like nobody could watch over the chimps, like mom was going to be with the chimps. And then at the end of one of the episodes, like one of the women was like, I'll give up anything. I'd give up my marriage just to have Tonka back.
I know they'd be fucking those chimps.
Dude,
dog.
that's what I'm saying. I know it.
They won't say it, but I know it.
Yeah,
in
I
my
feel
heart
it.
of hearts.
I feel it in my heart of heart. But yeah, it's absolutely wild. So I put it on. I wasn't really on Discord too much last night, but I put it on and just walked away because I was having back spasms.
You literally just put it on, let them ruminate.
I was in Discord at like
Check this shit out.
at like
Matt mutes and
5,
deafens and leaves.
about like 5:30, and my back was just killing me, but I wanted to say hi. And so somebody was like, somebody put something on. And
Was
then
it Nick?
Sounds
Evan-
like a Nick statement.
Yeah, Evan was like, tried to put something on, and then his Xbox crashed, and I was like, I got y'all. And I started putting it on, and then Lee was like, oh, is this the... And I was like, you need to watch this. And then like more and more people started getting the Discord. More and more people watched it, and then I pretty much was like, all right, you guys have fun.
Peace out.
Yeah, and then I would check back in again. Yeah, just my back was hurting.
He gets back and puts it. It's all silent. Just like everybody's like rapt attention.
But at one point, I was like, "Hold on, guys, I gotta feed my chimp."
BJ.
Jeffrey. That's what I said. Jeffrey, and then I'd be like, "Jeffrey, no, Jeffrey, Jeffrey."
That was the thing that got me was like
all the phone calls, like not once. You hear multiple phone calls.
911 calls.
Dude, there's that one lady who was just a piece of shit where she was like, like treating that chimp like awful in that like really southern town.
Yeah.
And then it got her daughter, and she's like, "You kill it, get a headshot."
She said the word headshot like 9 times.
Yeah, you have to get a headshot.
You have to do a headshot.
Yeah.
You have to do a headshot.
Yeah. That lady was.
I want to see it.
Uh huh.
That other lady who was being interviewed by Oprah was so sad. She's like, "Take off the mask. Show them world your
show
face."
the world.
Yeah, show us your fucked up face.
And then
and then she tries to, and then over just goes.
yeah.
Like
It's
dude,
so bad.
crazy
Though.
shit.
and then at the spoilers. The
the
end bit
very
where it's
end.
like, yeah, a chimp mauled me. I'd still get one though.
Yes.
It's like, brother, I was I like legit for a second was like,
he bit
she
off
learned.
Her ear.
Yeah, they
and
show
then-
like the earpiece, and I'm like,
That's another part that's stranger than fiction. Like actual comeuppance comes to the villain of the story,
Yeah.
and the ignorance is
Just-
still there.
yeah.
Yeah. 100%.
It's an insane
Well,
show.
like, and then like it's so wild.
Genuinely go watch this fucking show. I cannot recommend it enough. Like, I'm not a documentary guy. I'm not.
Yeah.
Like, Tiger
as
King.
far as HBO content goes, it's like Chernobyl, Game of Thrones, Chimp Crazy.
I would say like Game of Thrones is maybe my favorite, but the best is Chernobyl. Like that's
Chernobyl is objectively
it's
one of the
just,
best things
yes,
on.
Chernobyl
like,
is the best thing that's
Yeah.
out there. Game of Thrones is my favorite, but the two can be separate.
Yeah. You can have a favorite and still objectively look at something else. 100%.
Yeah, 100%. The so another little quick Discord thing. So Kyle posts in Discord like, "Hey, can I use somebody's like Crunchyroll account?" And it'd been like 2 days and nobody responded. And I was like, and I only saw it like 2 days later, like, and I saw those 2 days.
I saw him post that the second that he did it, and then I saw that Maul had posted a Rift of the Necrodancer gif.
Yes.
And I commented on that instead.
Yeah, and so then as I was like scrolling through what I missed, I saw that Kyle said that no one responds, and I was like, "Yeah, dude." So I immediately just like texted him, and he was like, "Thanks, man." And I was like, "Oh, like, are you trying to?" We were talking on Friday, and I was asking like, "You like trying to get into some animes to catch up?" And he's like telling me all the ones. And I was like, "Dude, have you seen Edge Runners?" And he goes like, "No, don't really know much about it."
Really gonna make this man just cry on a Saturday
And I was
night.
like, "It's not on Crunchyroll. It's on Netflix." And I was like, "It's like 10 episodes," and it really is 10 episodes, 20 minutes each.
Yep.
And I was like, "You can churn this thing out." It said I looked it up, like 3.3 hours. You can 3.5, or that's not even 3 1/3.
Mm-hmm.
So 3 hours and 10 minutes, or sorry, whatever. Yeah, something like that. And 20 minutes. There you go. And then he sent me a little picture of him watching it, and he's onto the third episode, which is where they go out on the mission with Maine. And I was like, because I was gonna ask him like, is David buff yet? And I was like, oh wait, that's such a spoiler.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that is such a spoiler to.
Yeah, you just like that. That's one of the shows you just have to be like, "Where are you at?"
Yeah, where are you at? So he's watching that, and I think he's by at least this next Friday. It should be done. So I'm really excited about that.
Hell yeah. Well, after we watched Chimp Crazy,
Yes.
I went to sleep, and then I woke up at like 12 the next day, and I heard music playing, and I felt in my heart that Lee was near. So I burst out of my bedroom door, and I noticed all of you crowded around the computer, and I said, "Nobody woke me up?"
That morning, I like woke up to a text. Somehow it was like maybe I woke up to the sound of the text, or I was like waking up and the text just happened. Can't really tell, waking up brain. And Lee says, "Are you awake?" And I was like, "That's a weird." Like I was thinking,
You
like
up?
yeah, like but I also thought I like opened the door to my room and I was like, Lee, are you here? And because like Luke wasn't out there, and I was like, yeah, he must still be asleep. And I was like, yeah, like immediately right after, yes. And he says, when can I come over? And I was like, now. And then he said, all right, bet. And then he You got over it at like 10.
Oh, yeah.
Something. It was like 11.
Yeah, because I was either woken up or like I was just sitting on the couch, just like
Yeah.
Because after a while you're like, hey, you want to go to the store? We're gonna and I was like, yeah, sure. And we were driving, listening to some music, just chilling.
Oh, yes.
Super. Yeah, he that was when we were like, Matt was playing K-pop Demon Hunters, and he was like, this shit bangs. And I was like, cool. And I think that's when you told me you watched it all in one sitting.
Yeah.
While BJ was asleep on the couch.
Yeah, and I woke him up at the very last, like at the very end, and I was like, this movie's pretty good. And he goes,
I was like, yeah.
yeah. Oh.
I think you played the Your Idol song.
It's the best one.
Yeah.
My favorite. Even though I think Golden is the one. It goes Golden. What's the opening song?
How It's Done.
Yeah. That's the second most played. And then Your Idol. And then
The Soda Pop one.
Soda Pop.
Yeah.
And then...
That's crazy to me because I think Free is like the best song on the soundtrack.
I know. And it's one of the least played ones.
Sometimes the masses just have shit like taste, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, granted, they're all good songs. I've heard them all good songs, but like Free is a banger.
Yeah.
Idol is a banger. And they're
Yeah.
like not the top two.
They're already working on the sequel.
Let's go,
Yeah.
dude.
They're like, everybody loves this.
Ironically-
apparently it's like 2028.
I mean, the
I
way
can wait. Look at the fucking Spider-Verse wait we've had to deal with.
I think that movie's coming out next too, right?
Yeah,
that should be the next one.
When I saw that movie, the second one is when Kara and Jack visited us in Tennessee. No, I think it was.
No, that was the day that you went to see D&D.
Oh, that's right.
Because that's when I ran into you at the
Yeah,
theater,
that's
and I
right.
thought you were like stalking
Oh,
me.
you were in you were seeing Spider-Verse, right? And you were seeing D&D, or
we were
was-
seeing
John Wick.
John Wick.
John Wick 4.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it was
but yeah,
me,
it's
my
been-
dad, and Trevor, and I
Yeah.
ran into Matt coming out of the bathroom, and I was like, "Did you follow me here?"
And then I said, "Do you want to fight or do you want to kiss?"
And Trevor heard the word "fight," and he ran around the corner of the bathroom.
Yeah.
And my dad was standing behind me, and he didn't know what was.
He
real
heard that
fiction at
too.
that point.
And then,
It was just a weird
was
cavalcade
weird,
of
and then
emotions.
I was like-
you weren't living here yet, right? When that happened,
No, I
or you
was.
were
Yeah.
okay, yeah.
so
That's why I was like,
What you were
Just
like, dude, what?
"Am I in a you situation?"
Yeah, I'm excited though.
Flattery, I guess.
After like seeing the Spider-Verse team and what they can do, I'm like, cook as
But
much
I
as
also
you
was
want.
telling BJ, like, why is Spider-Verse, like, Spider-Verse still hasn't come out, and yet we got another movie?
because
like that.
because Sony is fucking those people like sideways. Like they originally the movie was supposed to come like
Yeah.
Spider-Verse 2 or whatever the third one was called, Part 2, was supposed to come out like 2 years after.
It was
or, like,
also
a year.
supposed to only be 2 movies.
Well, no, it was like the 3-parter. There was
Well, originally,
Into,
you're right,
Across,
because they
and
split it
Beyond.
at some
Yeah.
point.
so then it was Beyond is going to come out like what was it like 2 years after? What was whatever the date was? It was like it was like
originally it was supposed to be like a year.
yeah, and it was later revealed that like, oh no, we're literally doing like 60-hour or like it was like borderline like we are gonna die making this movie, and Sony was like, and they were even saying like it's not gonna be good if we keep doing this. You're not gonna get it out in a year, and Sony I guess had to finally go okay fine, and let them kind of back off.
Yeah.
And so I assume they then like scrapped what they had and restarted because the Spider-Verse people seem like perfectionists. Like they're like, we're gonna make this animation style like crazy.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't be shocked because I think Beyond is still supposed to come out. I want to say next year. I think it's 2026. I think, but I could be wrong. But either way, yeah, we got. I'm assuming they just got Netflix gave them like a bag and said, do whatever you want, go nuts, and they just made this.
Yeah, peak shit.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see the next one. Lee was here.
Oh, yeah, we totally
Sorry,
got
yeah,
cut off
yeah.
on the story.
We went to Rock and Roll Sushi, had some sushi and ramen.
Good ass sushi.
Played
ramen.
some Betrayal, where I killed
Yeah.
everybody again.
Yeah, Matt is always the betrayer,
Always the betrayer.
just like real life.
and then we started playing The Quarry,
Yes.
which
It was so funny because we just started drinking a lot, and then
you more so than everybody
yes,
that night. Like
yes.
Yeah, Matt got fucked up.
Yeah, notice how I didn't buy beers this week.
like I honestly we needed a
Yeah,
break
we
day.
need-
Yeah,
yeah, 100%.
I was more drunk than I usually am. I think you were fucked up too, but Matt
Yeah.
was fucking
On one.
trashed.
I was.
Like anytime he got off the couch, it was funny because he had to like brace himself. Like he stood there, let the world stop spinning, and then like slowly with like grabbing stuff around him, walking to the bathroom, and he's in there. And then he again comes back out and is like,
I was just kept on pissing too, and I was like, "What the hell? What the
Yeah, you
hell?"
pissed a lot.
And well, but like midday when I was still like on one,
Yeah.
we were
Matt
talking,
never lost
and we were
one.
like, "What should we do? We could like
I think we were
play
just-
this, do this."
we started going like, do we want to play? What was it, a Sunderfolk?
Sunderfolk.
And we're like, oh, that'd be fun. And
And
we're like,
then
hell yeah.
I said, but I thought it was BJ who said this. I was like, we could play one of the Dark Picture games.
No, I just confirmed the idea in your
Yeah,
head.
yeah. But then I was like, later that night I was like, BJ, that was such a good idea, and you're like, that was your idea, man.
Yeah.
I was like, that was such a good idea by me, and it was awesome. The Quarry is
Corey, I think is I think so far kind of the most scary one for sure. The monsters, I don't want to spoil, go play the Quarry, are genuinely terrifying.
yeah.
And
I don't know what they are.
Yeah, and I
Because it's not what they don't look like. What I think that what I suspected the monsters being. I don't think that the monsters look anything like the monsters I think that this game's about.
I mean, they do have like
A si-
lycanthropic features, but it's more like the Harry Potter interpretation of werewolves.
Like-
you know?
yeah,
hey, there you go, werewolves. Yeah, dude, they look terrifying.
but
Like,
we don't know. We don't know.
Yeah, to be fair, we also don't know what
Yeah,
exactly.
it could just be like AIDS.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
yeah. It's all.
the characters are all really, really interesting too. Like there hasn't been one that I like. Originally, we started like the first like part. We're like, oh, this one,
I don't
fuck
like
this guy.
I don't
fuck
like
this one.
I mean, I didn't like the same type of character in Until Dawn, but it was like the
preppy kind of popular girl.
yes.
The thing is,
I can agree with that.
She's a little bit better in this one. The first game, actually, no, it was the mean Asian girl from Until Dawn.
Yeah.
That was so mean to the jock boy.
But in this one, I can't really find a character that I can bring myself to hate, which is nice. Because in the other ones, I'm like, kill that bitch, let
Yeah.
her die.
Yeah, 100%.
whereas like this one, it's like I can go, yeah, like they're giving you a lot more like leeway for some of these characters. Like there was that moment where like Emma, the popular bitch, was talking to her like subscriber. She was like filming. She's like a YouTube person or whatever, and she was like, oh, should I go down the path and just complain about my problems or be a bigger person? And they actually gave you the option of like walk that way or up the stairs.
Yeah.
And like they kind of let you dictate these characters a bit more, I feel.
Yeah,
Where-
I like that more than them just having like a map of this is what this character believes, play to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas this one you can, like, even though we
We
did
said
that.
a lot of times, like, both of them feel like a real, like,
Yeah, they feel
the
like something they would do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
some we are playing more into it, but there are moments where it's like, honestly, there's some crazy shit going on. Maybe
Yeah.
make them a little hysterical this time. Like it felt really fun to like. It's like
because when they seem like what they would do, it makes it more role playing than it does like trying to do a true ending of like this is making all the characters behave like they should.
yeah.
And we were having a lot of discussions about that. We'd be like, okay, well, she said this earlier, so I think this is what she would do here.
I think what works too though is that like it's like Geralt in The Witcher where every choice you make does feel in character to Geralt.
Yeah.
Whereas this one is like, no, every choice you're making with these characters can fit these characters, especially like where you go, because they tend, at least in the beginning first chapter, everybody's kind of a blank slate.
Yeah.
That like your first few decisions can kind of dictate where they're going to start.
Yeah, you can kind of shape them in the
a
beginning.
little side note is in Witcher 3 though, if you want to get the best ending, a lot of the choices that are critical to that ending
Or like
all have to do with Geralt not behaving the way that he has traditionally done, which is so like symbolic for that game and that story of like, no, he's breaking the molds. He's not being overprotective of Ciri. He's letting her become and discover who she, wants to be. And it's those decisions instead of you just being Geralt that's like, I'm going to protect Ciri and everything, and I'm her protector, and I know what's best. And it's like doing those a little bit differently, which is where you get a lot of like the good ending where,
I think it
Ciri-
definitely helps too having the first two games where he's an amnesiac who can kind of get to be different and change. That when you get to 3, it's like, oh yeah, he's had the entire book adventure and then these last 2 games to kind of formulate a new person. So now it's like, here's a bunch of choices. They will work depending on which side of the coin you want to fall on.
I kind of wish we had that discussion, but we can re-go over.
Yeah, because I came out.
It was really good, and it should have been documented.
I came out of my room earlier because I've been reorganizing my audiobooks that I got from you. There's a nice program on Windows for everybody that doesn't know called Libation, and if you and your friends are into audiobooks, you should all log into the same account on there. You can convert them to MP3s and throw them on whatever you want. It's awesome. But I knew Luke
I'll do it, but I know you won't listen to the Warhammer ones.
I mean,
there's a couple Warhammers now that he's got for me. So
now that I'm like,
I have Solar War and was the first 3, and then the first Eisenhorn book I have as well.
Then let's trade because I have all the Caesar Terra plus the 2 novellas.
I have the first Eisenhorn short story and the first book. And then I think that
Cody's saying that Eisenhorn might be better than Horus Heresy.
I so far really fuck with it because it's straight up just like detective noir shit.
He says it gets crazy,
but Eisenhorn is like low key a piece of shit, but I love him.
Yeah,
it's good.
So he was doing all that, and
I came out of my room because I was texting about it. I was like, "What fucking order do I read these Witcher books in?" He didn't number any of them.
Well,
I guess I told him that they are numbered, but it's not chronological.
Well, because it's numbered. Number 1 is Blood of Elves, and then goes to Lady
Blood
of the
of
Lake.
Elves is like the 3rd one you're supposed to read.
Because originally the Witcher novels weren't a thing because he was just posting like short stories in like newspapers or like fan magazines.
Matt told me that earlier, and I was like, "Oh, that's just like Pinocchio."
Yeah.
Yes.
And
so how it's supposed to go is Last Wish is his short stories put together about, and it's the all of the other books. It's supposed to be what he does, Geralt does on his adventures, doesn't matter, indeterminate amount of years before the first book.
A lot of the CGI trailers where he hunts a monster are based off a lot of those short stories. Like that first one for Witcher 1 where he fights the Striga, like lets the guy run. That is literally like one of the main like short stories. It's like that. There you go. And then, funnily enough, I didn't know this until recently. The publication is weird as fuck because he wrote all those short stories and then people liked the world enough that he wrote one. I forget the short story exactly, but it was one that he didn't publicize in the magazine and kept it.
No, I've done research on this now.
Yes.
There's a whole fucking website you have to go to that is basically a spreadsheet of where everything goes and what it's canon to.
I realistically would say you read the first 2, so Last Wish, Sword of Destiny, to like experience the world of The Witcher, and then just read the series, and then you have the extra of is it Season of Storms?
Yes, that's the one.
That's the extra one, and then he's got the new one coming out that's like a prequel where he's a younger guy.
So that's the one, Season of Storms, which is extra stories. But you want to finish you
want to have the whole book like series like,
and then
like it's a fun little like
then it's
more kind of thing.
Yeah, and then you go, let's go play the DLC.
Yeah,
like,
kind of.
It's but you need to read DLCs. You need to read Last Wish first because it introduces characters.
That introduces Yennefer too. Yeah, you're right. Yes, yeah, because that's the Last Wish.
Yeah,
and
Yennefer, the priestess who is the priestess that
who kind of like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Who's like the medic that he always goes to when he's injured.
Yeah.
And that's again
that stuff is Last Wish. Like he literally spent all the time like building this world through this like fan magazine, and then Sword of Destiny has, I think it's the unpublicized work is what leads to Blood of the Elves, where it's like it sets up kind of like this is where these conflict. Like this is where like we're gonna start.
Sword
to go.
of Destiny. That's the one that's the first Ciri one.
No, yes. It has Ciri. Ciri shows up in that one.
Well, no, sorry, she doesn't. Sword of Destiny, Ciri does not show up because that's the one where you meet. The ends with the banquet with Ciri's parents.
Right. Well, Sword of Destiny also has the Siren short story, right? Or is that also in Last Wish? Okay, yeah. So that's the one part.
Because literally, he does all these adventures, and then he gets the
law of surprise.
He gets, then I go through the whole thing, and then I go, all right, second book because he's watched part of the Witcher series.
You've seen the first season, right?
I've seen most of it. I think I've seen everything that Henry Cavill did
except for season 3. I'm assuming.
I saw most of season.
Oh,
three.
I didn't even
I
watch
haven't
season
touched
3.
season
It
3.
wasn't good.
No,
Yeah.
fight scenes were good, but that's
I
not
was saying
hard
it's
to do.
really weird in that show how they combine so many things and put them in orders that they're not supposed to.
From what
go
you were
to.
saying, they were just like, all right, we're gonna take this little tail and we're gonna put it way down here, and we're
Yeah.
gonna move this one up.
Yeah.
Well, because the Butcher of Blaviken storyline where he gets that name is what I think was still smart to put early to kind of set up Geralt in a way.
Yeah.
And then doing like the banquet scene with the porcupine looking motherfucker, and it's like kill him, and he's like he's not a monster, and then it starts that shit. Though season 1 of The Witcher is genuinely good, and I really hate that they fucked it hard because there's some stuff that I would have personally
there's the
changed.
whole thing where Ciri and him go to that dude's cabin, and that Ciri's not even a part of that story.
Yeah.
That's in The Last Wish, where he goes to his friend's cabin, and his friend's a monster, and it's Beauty and the Beast, essentially. And all of that, who's played by the guy who's the wildling with the red beard. Tormund. Yeah, who's played by the actor Tormund in that. Anyways, so it's they're doing things where it's oh yeah, now Ciri's a part of it, and it's no, all very different storylines.
But yeah, realistically, I on my shelf I have it in not release order because technically Sword of Destiny.
Sword of Destiny
first.
ends there with the parents. You finally get to meet Ciri in the second one, where he goes to Cintra's gonna be attacked, and he's like, I need to take Ciri. This is bad, and she's like, okay, take him, and she just gives him a little girl that's a random little girl, and he's like, that's not I
know Ciri, that's not
yeah,
Ciri.
it's I know I deal with bullshit and craziness, I know, yeah, that's not her. And then she's like, get out of here, I'll kill you. So he leaves, then they get attacked, then she gets taken away, then they meet in the field at the very end of the book. Beautiful. Fourth book is when she goes to Kaer Morhen, Triss comes in, all that happens.
Yeah. I still think is it. I'm trying to think which one is it. It's because there is a point where the series gets where everybody's kind of separated. Ciri does her own thing with a group of outlaws and bandits, goes through some rough shit. Geralt's off doing his thing, and then they kind of have the. I'm pretty sure it's the last book is the everybody comes back together for the crazy shit, and then the last book leads to the games if you squint.
Well, I told him that I really like that in The Witcher 3 you get this right before everything goes down, the big the mission where they're hey, you can't
point and overturn. Say
right
make
before
a save
that now. Yennefer's hey, come on this boat with me, we gotta do this thing, and he's like, huh, why? And then she's like, help me do all these things. He's like, why? She's like, because you want my pussy. And he's like, fair enough.
He's like, absolutely.
Yeah. And then she finds another gin bottle, undoes the wish that Geralt does in the very first book to prove that they can be together by choice. And I just am like,
it's funny because I
beautiful.
think we've had this conversation that you and me both were hell yeah, Triss, our first playthrough, because we're hell yeah, redhead with titties, fuck yeah. And then having knowledge of the books and other things, you go, Yennefer. There is no choice. It's Yennefer.
Yeah.
And because you read the books and they have this constant will they, won't they. Geralt is willing to settle down. Yennefer isn't. You go to I think it's book 5. Yennefer is now willing to settle down, but Geralt's I need to find Ciri. Fuck all that. Yeah. And she's like, well, yeah, we'll find her together. And he's like, no, leave. And so there's constant battle of it's the most toxic relationship you get.
Though, which is brilliant, of them caring about canon, even though the creator of Witcher didn't like the games. At least CD Projekt Red was we know if we do the best ending where Geralt and Yennefer are living in a cabin together, that people are going to be it's just because of the wish in the very first book, and so this means nothing. It's not real.
Her entire companion quest line for a companion quest line, but hers is get rid of the wish, and then you get that choice in the dialogue of I will choose you regardless. It basically Geralt saying it was never the djinn. I was down forever, and Yennefer's whole thing was she never liked having that choice taken from her, because that was her whole backstory, is people using her for her magic, for whatever, just being a tool for people. That when she finally gets rid of it, that feeling of I want to choose you.
Yeah.
But I want to do it.
But yeah, like them going back to that, the last thing in the first book is just.
And then
beautiful.
Blood and Wine DLC of just literally having the like, it's a nice little place in this little French ass place. So we can go like just be together forever. It's
and then
awesome.
Kira Metz shows up. Not in Blood and Wine, but like in the Witcher 3.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying,
I
me.
fucked her.
Yeah.
There is a point. There's a point in Witcher 3 where
in the cave on the
there. There's a point in Witcher 3 where you have the entire like lodge of witches, and I forget who's the one with the blindfold. I forget her name. She's
the one that turns into a owl.
Yeah, her. So she's not really into men.
She's the like the head witch of the
lodge.
Of the lodge, yes.
But she makes a point because you can fuck Kira, I think you fuck another woman, and there's a point where she like just offhandedly goes, crazy that every single woman in here except me has slept with Geralt. And it's Yennefer, Triss, Kira, and one other, and Geralt just kind of goes,
In the fourth book, which you'll get to, you go to this big ball with all the like witches and wizards, and Yennefer is just like, please, like I want somebody like on my side, just please, like I'm gonna hate this.
Like, this sucks. Just please be
and
me.
It's the whole thing is like just be her like kind of shield to like all the
just like a buffer for the party.
All the snobbery and kind of stuff. And then he can see like through all of their like appearance magic.
All of them are ugly pieces of shit.
Like, so he sees through all, and all of these people are hitting on Geralt, and also like, why would you be with Yennefer? And like the whole time, and then Yennefer's like seeing all of this of like him getting like felt up and all this other stuff.
She gets fucking pissed.
Yeah, she gets so pissed, and he was like, "You wanted me to be here."
He's like, "Why are you getting mad at me?"
Yeah.
I can't believe the Witcher guy wrote Shallow Hal.
No, Witcher is, I think, probably.
Wait, what?
Shallow Hal.
Yeah, he wrote.
No,
basically that story is Shallow Hal.
I thought you meant like actually.
You're like, he's like,
I was like, that's a good joke. Wait, did he really?
I think, with the exception of Berserk, I would put Witcher as my favorite dark fantasy, because even Game of Thrones, I feel like, is dark fantasy, but kind of teeters on like high fantasy more. Witcher is borderline just, I would rather live anywhere else but this world. Yeah. Like, it's one of those things where you're like, everything sucks, everybody's a piece of shit, and like, the only people that I care about are Geralt and like Ciri. Yeah. And Dandelion, because Dandelion is the fucking best.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I fuck, like, it's probably my favorite, dark fantasy series, and I can't wait for you to listen to it and read it.
I'll get into it soon, because I finished Dune.
We've been talking a lot about Dune.
Yeah.
Did you finish Messiah? Or are you almost done?
He might not.
I've got 2 hours left, so might as well.
He will.
Yeah.
But doing that makes me think I can read all of the Siege of Terra. I don't care about the voice acting. The content is good. Because in Dune Messiah, nothing is good at all.
I listened to the hour and a half. This is what Dune Messiah is. And then I was like, pretty much the discussion we're just going to rehash our conversation.
Spoilers for Dune and Dune Messiah.
This is what we do. This is our podcast. We say the same thing, even though we had a theme.
We'll get to it. Maybe.
We're only 30 minutes in.
Yeah, we got time.
That's right. About how, and we kind of touched on this, but Dune does a really poor job of setting, the first Dune does a really poor job, I think, objectively, of making Paul
the anti-hero.
I don't agree with that at all.
Really?
I think it does a really good job with subtlety, but also still making it very clear what he's trying to convey. And then Dune Messiah happens, and he's like, no, he's going to talk about Hitler and Genghis Khan, and he's going to admire how many people Hitler killed, and also Duncan Idaho's alive, and he's a cyborg pedophile, and isn't that cool? Who's Gurney Halleck? I don't remember.
I almost spoiled some stuff, but I was like, the Duncan Idaho, that's not the only time he gets revived.
I told him, we were texting, and it was like,
I don't say what happens like way later.
No, I didn't explain how. I was just like, there's a point where the first three books of the Atreides,
happens where he has like a job to do, and I'm not going to say what that job, his job. or his mission is.
All I told
it happens like 17 times.
All I told him was, I'm like, the first 3 books are considered like the main story of Dune because it's the Atreides saga, I guess. After that, it becomes the Duncan Idaho show, and this man just keeps getting revived, even though there's a point where he goes, "Please stop! I'd rather stay dead." And the person reviving was like, "Ha, I like you.
He's
Come
literally
back."
Mickey 17.
Yeah.
But like,
And
it
like,
feels like a Messiah though. It's like a guy that's like trying to trash talk somebody like on internet forums, like where you see like a news article and they'll be like, he
This
liked
person's
Hitler.
kind of-
It's literally where
it's
just
so overt.
yes, that's what I'm saying. It's so overt when like Dune. I think they don't portray him as like. I think
that's kind of the point. That's why Messiah is so overt, is because Frank Hubert, and like what you were saying, did a really good job of setting it up and making, or you can walk away going, man, Paul's kind of like.
I mean, he's
like,
definitely chosen a crazy path.
Yeah, and like but you can,
clearly you're like, this is the path that's going to go
like,
down.
yeah, like, this is wild.
When all the ships, the Fremen loaded on ships, and they're going to attack everybody. I was like,
a legitimate jihad.
yeah. And
like,
so I was
actually,
like, okay, yeah, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy.
But the thing is, a lot of people in the was it 80s or 70s? When was Dune first done? 70s.
I thought it was 60s.
Whatever year Dune.
I thought it was really. I'll look it up.
Yeah, because Dune was done in parts, similar to like the Witcher stuff, where it was serialized and then got a book afterward. And most people were like, Paul's a fucking hero. He saved the day.
1963.
63. And so Frank Herbert was like,
oh.
Did y'all not read the fucking... God dang it.
It was when like
the book was published. So like, yeah, Frank Herbert's like you were saying, like, you got it. You understood that, like, yeah, no, he's kind of an anti-hero villain, not quite the good guy. You got it. Most people in the fucking 60s didn't get it.
I think a lot of that is the ability to do it all at once as well. Because the first, like, basically 3/4 of that book you can get through while still being like, okay, Paul
he's like the hero. Yeah.
Especially
because his whole thing is he's like trying to choose the middle path.
Yeah, he's trying to do what's best for everybody. And then I think the whole, like, the test at the beginning is very good framing device for the whole thing, where he's deemed a human, making all of his actions innately human, which, that part is kind of overt when you think about it. But like that, it all makes sense. It's tied with a nice little bow. And then Messiah starts, and it's like, okay, well, Paul loves Hitler, loves Genghis Khan.
Yeah.
Killed a whole bunch of people already. He maybe wants to fuck his 15-year-old sister. Duncan almost gets there. And then, like, there's this whole scene where she's, like, fighting a mannequin naked and, like, covered in oil or something. It's just fucked up.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
Messiah was the clear, like... Nobody understood that Paul was supposed to be the villain, so I have to, like, hammer it home. And then Children of Dune is literally the, like, okay, let's try to, like, make it all, like, because Dune is, like, subtle.
Well, like, the
Messiah is,
Leto,
like...
not...
Leto the second.
Yes.
Yeah. Messiah is, like, aggressively, not, like, overt. Children is kind of like a middle ground of, like, it is clear on its themes, but it still leaves enough to interpretation. Because I think so.
feel like it kind of, like... And this is... not a bad thing, because Dune was like the best science fiction book I've ever read.
Every sci-fi you like comes from Dune, which is
yes,
like
I Dune is the best. But like it felt like he was slowly deteriorating, really trying to like push things, and then he was just like, oh, I have to also make it a sci-fi book that stays in line. And it just feels like it deteriorates the further along it went, because I think at the very end with Leto the second, it just gets like so wild.
Yeah, I mean, what Leto does in Children, no spoilers, is like...
It would be Leto the third, right? Because Leto the second dies in Dune 1 as a baby.
Yeah, it would be but it is Leto. It is. It is. Yeah, Paul, one of Paul's sons.
That's crazy.
Leto.
If I died and my parents were like, "All right, you're William Didden Saul Stewart Jr. 3."
Yeah, it's one of those things. Yeah,
I'd be looking up from hell like, what?
But yeah. So Children, like,
then like it's so hard not to spoil, but like what he becomes.
Yeah, I mean, if you've seen any pictures of Dune shit, you probably know. Because it's like one of the most famous like pictures.
Yes.
Grotesquely interesting pictures, but
Yes.
like it is a thing where you're like, okay, cool. Then you get to what's the other one? God Emperor is I think the fourth book.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one you don't have to read that onward. You can literally read the first 3 and just kind of stop. Because then after that, God Emperor onward is, like I said, the Duncan Idaho show, and it just becomes like 80s sci-fi schlop of like, here's this Bene Gesserit like splinter group that are just BDSM space witches, and they really want Duncan's cock because he's, I guess, a chosen one, but not really.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
Like he becomes like a god type figure.
Yeah.
Like after his
17th resurrection. They leave on a ship.
It gets wild.
They leave on the ship called the Chapter House because planets are can't go there. That word inhabitable. And like it's fucking insane. And then that was when Frank and his wife died after I think it was Chapter House, and then it was like years later his son and another author finished the 8th book. well they just took the 8th book and put it into 2 parts and finished the series. But realistically, when you look at
then wrote all the house
stuff,
the house books.
The one book I want to read
those.
out of those is they actually set a book between Messiah and Dune.
There's also a prequel series about the machine uprising too.
I think so. Yeah, because if you go on Audible to the Dune saga, Dune is like book 17, which is crazy. Yeah,
I remember I went to the bookstore when the movie was coming out because I was like, I want to get a copy of it. And the only one that they had, all the regular copies of Dune were sold out because of the movie, but they had the cover of like the people in the movie on it, and I was like, all right, well, I'll just go buy this one.
I hate those book covers, by the way.
Yeah.
Those suck. Give me the original stuff.
When I was looking for that book, I went to the the sci-fi section, and there was a whole goddamn shelf of Dune.
Just Frank. It's when Barnes and Noble does like an author highlight book area where it's just Frank Herbert.
But I was standing there and I stared at it for like a good 3 minutes, and I was like, fuck this, I'm gonna go ask for help.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, if you're going to get into Dune, just read the first 3. And if you give a shit enough, continue on. I think out of all of the ones not written by Frank, so written by his son, are the house books, just for lore. And then, I haven't read it, but I've heard good things about it, but the one called just Paul of Dune, which is set between Dune and the New Messiah. Literally, like, between the, like, all that.
There's a 12-year gap there.
Yeah, so that was one book during that. And that one is, I think, a little more subtle in...
Do they tell you what fucking happens to Gurney?
I haven't read it, so I wouldn't know, but I think...
They don't mention him. It's like he never existed at all. It's like Thanos snapped him out of existence.
Especially when, like, he's the guy.
He became Paul's right-hand man. He was the one that was supposed to kill Fade Routha. And then Paul was like, nah, I got this shit. Step back, little bro.
Well, also, Gurney was also the one who killed
Dave Bautista.
Dave Bautista's character, who is not Fade Routha, but the nephew that nobody liked, that the Baron didn't like. The one that was all,
The one that was already in charge?
Yes, that he was like, squeeze, Arrakis.
Yeah. And then he was like, I'm going to cut him off and then make it seem like the Fremen did it.
Yeah, but Gurney kills him, and it's awesome.
Yeah. Dune 1 is a legitimately great
book.
Well,
another thing that I didn't like about, even though the Lord of the Rings movies are perfect, but they just didn't include any songs. But the biggest problem with that is that everyone who like tried to make the movies looked at these songs and they were like,
these are not structured in a song way. I cannot make this work.
It's the exact same way with Gurney.
But I do love that because you get to listen to all of his songs and all the times that he's reading from the Bible. And
the Orange Catholic Bible, whatever the fuck that means.
Yeah, and so you get to like, but it's really, I love that he's always saying these things, always singing, and we don't really get to see that. You do actually get to see it.
A little bit in Dune Part 2.
It's
actually really nice.
It is.
Yeah. Like you see
because he
Gurney
pulls out
again.
these like electric bagpipes.
Yeah, it's actually
which is
nice.
what the thing. Well, no, he played a lute.
Well, I assumed it was a lute, but it's a fictional instrument. I can't remember the name of right now.
They had, but it was kind of like bagpipes.
The balised.
Yes, the balised. Yeah.
Dune has some crazy shit, like sci-fi shit that, like, I again we've talked about this, that I love that like guns are borderline obsolete because of the shields,
sense, yeah.
so they have to use swords. I'm like, I don't care, dude. Sci-fi shit with like medieval weaponry is the coolest
Yeah,
shit.
the
I mean,
whole thing is if like you shoot a shield, everybody in the immediate area dies.
it creates a nuclear explosion. Like that's like the whole thing, and people don't want nukes going off everywhere, and so that's why atomics like are only like a last case.
It's literally in a perpetual Cold War between like everybody. It's kind of rad.
The House Atomics.
I'll say like a couple last things and then we'll move on from Dune. But Chani is by far my favorite character, and I'm so sad that she keeps getting fucked. I want her to be happy. She's such a nice and genuine person, and pretty much all the Fremen are like this, where it's just like they're great, they have honor, and then they're just corrupted and sent to do this shit that they believed is, you know, gonna ascend them somehow, but it just ruins their lives, and it makes me so sad. And I really like the little fish man in Messiah. He's the only good part, is that there's a guy that just lives in a fishbowl and like drinks spice through a tube and just says crazy shit. That's fucking fire.
I mentioned to you that like again, we have to watch Doom Part 2 because you haven't seen it, but I think
you'd like it.
I think you'd like it, but also I kind of am interested, based on what you said of how you want Chani to like have a happy life. There is a avenue they could kind of push.
It's
a little. No, hold on.
That was my biggest gripe.
I'm not talking about the actual process.
It's not book accurate.
It's not book accurate
at all.
But the way you're saying is like, I just wanted to have like a happy life and just be happy somewhere. There is an avenue that could kind of work, maybe, depending on what Messiah is for the.
Well, also depending on how much they're gonna change it.
Well, I mean, Messiah, I feel like is way easier to adapt because it is smaller and like way more direct in like what happens.
Yeah, it's just gonna be
it opens on
Paul talking about Hitler for 30 minutes.
Opens to Paul listening to
Mein Kampf.
Yeah, I was gonna say like what's the Erica? You know, yeah, he's listening to that in his room, just like
No, I think Messiah is gonna be interesting, and I'm willing to give it the bit because based on the ending, like I'm with you that I don't like it, but I'm willing to give it because there's the one more movie.
They also changed how like the threat to the houses work with the House Atomics. It's a little bit different, and I mean the whole thing is, they like in the books. What's like the big threat when they're on like the when all the ships come?
Oh, the atomics.
Yeah, but what was the threat though? Like they were gonna bomb Arrakis out of existence, but Paul was like, "You're not gonna fucking do that because you won't even be able to get home without the spice." So, in the movie, it's like the other way around, where
the Emperor wants the planet, and then I think,
and then Paul was like, "We'll blow up.
I'll blow up
Arrakis.
I'll nuke the fuck out of Arrakis."
Okay.
And he's like, "I'll blow up the spice fields."
That's what I'm
and
saying.
they're like, "No, the spice."
That's why I think it's one of those hindsight things that, like, again, because I think the way Frank wrote the first 3 books, there is a weird like he was trying to fix something or he was trying to like answer to something else.
Yeah.
Denis just gets to make a more cohesive storyline through. With the knowledge
Except
of those
for the fact
movies.
that there's no daughter or no little sister.
No Aaliyah?
Yet. She doesn't show up yet in the...
She didn't kill the fucking Harkonnen?
No, it's bullshit.
How does he die?
Paul.
Gay.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
It's so funny. That's why Luke, when we left, and I was like, I hate this movie.
Damn, dude.
And then Luke was like, this is so funny not seeing it with VJ. Because now seeing Matt not liking it, even though I do love them both, I think they're incredible movies. The best part is just visually seeing these things that are so grand that are expressed in like not great detail. Because like you can even tell from like the 1970s, dude, they had no fucking clue
what the fuck that shit looked like.
An ornithopter is in the old one a box that flies around like a square.
Yeah, and then they like the aesthetic.
They really don't describe it well in the book either.
No,
the only thing they really say is that it has wings that can maneuver.
Yeah,
and so they go, all right, fucking dragonfly. That sounds rad as fuck.
So that's why it's like I love visually how they brought everything to life. They fucked the story.
I kind of want to play that new game.
Everyone says
Awakening.
it's really good.
That's what I'm hearing.
It's PvEVP, which is like probably the best way to do a PvP is also
adding the environment to
Yeah.
it. Because it is a thing of we made a base. Fuck, they're sandworms.
Yeah.
No,
That's real.
I'm more willing to accept the changes in the movie, mostly because I think if you're gonna do a movie, like I said, if this was a show, I'd be way more like, why the fuck is this not here? Why'd you change this? Because you have more than enough time to do the whole thing. It's a fucking TV show. You know what I mean? Whereas a movie, you're stuck with like what, 2 hours? Isn't that what each one is about? 2-ish hours?
No, they're long.
Yeah.
It's like 2.5.
Yeah,
right?
and again, you split one book into 2 movies, and even then, I'm kind of shocked at what they
it's
got
like
out
I was
of.
saying earlier, the audiobook is 21 hours.
Yeah.
And that's like no filler. Just get to the fucking point, get the words in there.
Yeah, like, and so having to split that like 21 hours of someone reading that into like 4.5 hours is very hard. Where, like, again, I'm willing to just let Denis and his team work and do what they want. I have my gripes. Like, yes, Aaliyah not being there is fucking insane. Although she's technically there.
No, it's
because she's not born yet.
Because the problem is she's like what, like 5 at the end of the book.
Yeah.
At the end of the book, she's like 3, 4.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, 3 or 4, but she's mentally just...
Because the whole thing is like...
Because she could talk to
capture
Paul.
this baby, and they're like, hey, we got his fucking sister. She can't do shit against us. And she's like, yeah! And stabs him in the neck.
talking to them and like
Yeah,
prophesying over them.
She's like freaking them all the fuck out.
But like, because even like in the what's the homes that they have underground, the Sikhs. Nope.
No, it's
Sieches.
yeah, Siege.
A siege.
Siege.
Yeah. And like the girls walking around, everyone's like,
Everybody's like, this little girl's a fucking monster.
yeah, 100%. Yeah, you don't get any of that. You get barely any stuff. Well,
But the Dune movies pretty much focus almost entirely on Paul's like rise and his like relationship with Chani,
which is,
and his relationship with his mother. That's like,
but that's the thing
those
is
are
like
three.
in the second movie, the relationship with Chani is so weird because she's like, I don't like this path that you're going down, and I want to separate myself from you. But then they're like, this is also in the movie. Then she's like, but I love you and I'm in love with you. Let's bang and have kids together.
Book Chani is kind of down.
It's like
Book Chani.
It's the end result's a little bit the same, but like your words say a completely different thing.
It's like I was telling Luke, we had a text conversation about it the other night. I was like, Chani's only crimes are loving someone and being loyal.
Yeah.
And everything else that's happened to her is because of those 2 good traits.
Yeah. And in this one, she's like...
It's kind of the reason why I'm interested in what they do with her, because like...
In the end of the movie, she just runs away.
Yeah, spoilers. She leaves. Like, she
Wow.
says, fuck you to
That's what
Paul.
I'm trying to say. Like,
And,
it's
like,
not at
dips.
all...
That's not Dune.
That's what I'm saying. I was so livid. And then I like watched it and I was like, this is the most beautiful movie I've ever seen.
Again,
other
it's
than
one of those
2049.
things where like since we watched Dune 1 and I read the book, I was like, there's no fucking way they're gonna fit all this in the second movie. There's no shot. So I went into movie 2 going, there's gonna skip some shit. Oh.
Live on pod, I'll have to sell. Chill out. I'm gonna text him.
Had me
Wait,
fucking
yeah.
dead.
For context, everyone, go back and watch our previous episode before this one. And the careful Luke moment Cody just texted us about.
Texted us about.
I saw a post earlier today that I thought inherently in my mind, I was like, that's Cody. It was a girl with black and white thigh highs playing Space Marine 2 with like some crazy ass nails on her Xbox controller. I was like, that's Cody.
Yeah. I love the Dune movies because I think they're fun. But like, yeah.
I think they're incredible.
Yeah, they're
but
incredible movies, but like, I mean,
that's
yeah.
also the worst part about. Yeah, it's one of the worst parts about being now a person who really likes books.
Yeah.
Dude,
I not
having
like
being able to go back to the source material and go, it's not like what the
one of
thing.
the
Yeah,
first books I read that I like cared about a lot was Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And my dad first read me The Hobbit, and that movie didn't come out. And then Lord of the Rings. After reading Lord of the Rings with him, I was like, yeah, "This is a great movie. They did a great job. It's the books. Like, there's nothing. This is perfect." And then there wasn't like too many other things that I had read that like a movie, you know, like things that were turned into a movie, like Narnia. But I was like, didn't give a shit about Narnia.
Yeah.
And
or like you watch Edge of
I have a
Tomorrow, not
similar
realizing that's
experience.
like
and then like, because it wasn't for me, like Harry Potter was not one of those books that I was like, I mostly watched the movies first and then read the books, and I was like,
me and my dad read those religiously. Like as soon as a new one came out, me and my dad would head to the store, grab it, and then come home and read it for hours
yeah.
together.
So it wasn't like an issue there. And then it was when I started reading things before I would experience a visual
adaptation.
a visual adaptation for it. I was like, because like Witcher was like the one exception where I was like, well, actually that's not true, because it happened with the TV show.
Yeah.
Where I was like, what is this? This isn't how it goes. But like after playing the third game, I was like, I gotta read these, and I read it, and I was like, this is beautiful. They did a great job adapting it.
Yeah.
Show comes out, hate it.
Yeah.
Dune's coming out. I read that. I'm like, the first one does a really good job. I think part one adapts it very well. Do you think that?
Of part one?
Yeah.
Of the
With the exception of Leto.
the physical
yeah.
the physical things that happen, I think it does a pretty good job of conveying those events. The problem is that to really get Dune, you have to have those introspective character moments where someone's just sitting in a room thinking about something.
There's a lot of that in
Yes,
the books.
100%. But
Well, yeah,
pretty
like, from a visual standpoint and like
Yeah,
hitting
from-
the story
and
beats.
story marks
From that point
Yeah.
of view, it's pretty spot on.
So I
They
was like
just leave out a
stoked
lot of
about
the
Dune
Leto
Part
stuff.
1. You know, had read Dune at this point like 7 times.
Yeah.
Listened to it 7 times. Part 2 comes out. I'm pissed. So this is the problem that I'm like, gosh, I love source material. I'm loving all these books. And now I'm just one of those people that goes, it wasn't like the books. And I can't back down from it, because it's like the
Not
book,
with something like that.
nah.
They fucking leaving out characters.
It's crazy.
I easily can because of being raised by
Because
comics.
you're Luke.
Well, no, because of being
Yeah,
raised by comics.
Luke the Enjoyer.
God forbid I enjoy my life.
That's your new moniker.
But like being into comics and like seeing superhero movies, there has never been a superhero movie that is faithful to a fucking comic book. Like they may be faithful to a character or faithful to an ideal, but there has never been a on-screen adaptation of a comic that is faithful. Same with even animated. Yeah, actually, Sin City. You're right.
And Watchmen's like shot for shot.
It's still, there's some stuff that's cut out if you read the Watchmen comic and then the Watchmen movie. But like it's one of those things where like, because I was big into comic books as a kid, like Batman and stuff like that, to where after a while I was like, look, as long as you get the essence of what the thing is, that's all I give a shit about now.
Yeah.
Because then it's like, because now I have two different things that tell the same story, have the same message, but have two distinctly different approaches to it. Like, my favorite Batman thing is the Arkham games. They're not fucking faithful at all. They don't follow any storyline. The Under the Red Hood storyline they do is dog shit. But I still had fucking fun with it because it gets the characters. The way they do Arkham City, the way they start the Hush storyline is pretty interesting. The way they do a lot of their stories are awesome. But like, they're not faithful at all to their source material, except for being faithful to the characters, which at this point with adaptions is all I care about. And I think Dune Part 2 is pretty faithful to Paul and like the general storyline of what they're doing for him.
Okay, only Paul.
Yeah, the main fucking character that I care about.
Anyways,
Again,
so,
that's just my bit. Like I'm cool with a lot of changes as long as the general like
again, I
storyline.
think we should watch it just because
Yeah.
it's amazing.
I mean, I want to compare.
Yeah,
that's
and it's just visually the
Stunning,
effects
stunning
are
movies.
just absolutely stunning.
also the fight scenes in Part 2 I think ramp up
Way
immediately.
better.
Also, yeah, like visually the Harkonnen planet is so
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also based off of like
actual science of what a sun.
actually, actual like what happens if you were in the light of the kind of sun that their planet
Yeah.
revolves around. Yeah, all those cool things. The way they depict the Emperor's ship coming back to like landing on Arrakis, stellar.
I think
the depictions of the sandworms are just so cool.
perfect,
So
fucking
cool.
perfect.
Yeah.
I'm very interested when Messiah comes out that we're all gonna have to go see it at that point
Yeah.
because it will be a thing of you'll have seen the movies, read the books, and then we'll all just be like, all right, let's see how Denny can fucking
I might have to
do with
now
Messiah.
listen to Messiah. As I said, I know.
Yeah.
I did the hour and a half. This is what happens
Yeah.
in Messiah, and what's the third one?
The children.
Children. Yeah. Advent
Messiah
Children.
Messiah is a hard because I did an audiobook and I
Dune
read
Messiah, Advent Children.
Dune Messiah was a hard read even like because you're audiobooking it so you have to listen to someone come up with these words. I had just my own
Dude, I will say
imagination
though the
going,
audible
what the fuck?
the audible version for Dune.
Isn't it a full cast? Or no?
No,
For the first one, it's like 5 different people.
Okay.
but there's times though where it sounds like the Baron is two different people. Where like sometimes you know it's the Duke, not the Duke, the Baron Harkonnen feels like he doesn't know his accent sometimes.
No, you're
Yeah.
right because it's like half the time they're trying to do like a Darth Vader
and
impression.
he goes, it's that deep voice, and then
Yeah.
half the time it's not, and I go, what the fuck? And then I just had to realize that I just had to be really careful about that. The other two people that aren't even in this, actually they are, but very small in part two, even though they're from the very beginning, are those two Harkonnen like advisors that the Baron's always talking to.
Yeah, his Mentat, and then
yeah, they're there.
No, not the mental. Well, that. Yeah, we barely get anything with
the one that he was like, "You can have Lady Jessica if we fucking take over Arrakis."
Yeah. It was the it's like no, it's like the his like not advisor, it's just like a business person that deals.
Oh, the people at the dinner party.
Yes, but they're there. Like you get lines from them all the time, and yeah, you just never show up.
Well, I'm excited for when the Messiah movie comes out because then we can make Messiah Cast sequel to Dune Cast.
Yeah.
And then
We technically when you watch Dune Part 2, we can do a Part 2 cast.
You can watch tonight.
We could watch tonight.
yeah.
And then have Dune Cast, Dune Part 2 cast, and then Messiah Cast.
And then
have the
someday
trilogy.
we'll have Children of the Dune Cast.
Although Denis has said he's not doing it. Although if they drop a truckload full of money in front of him, he'll probably do it. But like he has said,
I
he
don't
wants
know.
to do
Get him to
Messiah
do
and
another
and stop.
like do
get him
something
to
else.
adapt something,
Or not
big
even adapt
again.
something. Have him do something in his own, like fucking Prisoners.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I want more Blade Runner.
Yeah,
me too.
I'm
I'm desperate for more Blade Runner.
Has he shown interest in doing another one of Blade Runner? I know he did 24.
Nobody else has shown interest in doing another Blade Runner.
Except that,
Blade
like-
Runner has never made money.
Except that like CGI anime thing that
There's a couple
Crunchyroll
of those
did.
apparently.
Oh,
Yeah.
really? But yeah. Well, we had a topic. We can still go on. We've only been an hour. Yeah.
We could save it till next week. This has been a good audiobook and book cast.
Yeah.
Which we don't really get.
Yeah.
That's a rare. This is new.
most
This
of
is
the time-
new conversation.
Most of the time, I'll be like, "Hey guys, I'm reading this book," and nobody gives a fuck.
Yeah.
So
This is
it
yeah.
has to be
I'll-
reciprocated.
If we're
Yeah,
gonna do
we're on
some
book talk.
audiobook shit, I'll just kind of talk about the stuff I'm reading.
Yeah, welcome to Book Talk. What's the spice level of Dune?
I don't want there to be. Yeah, what is the
That-
spice level?
Insane amounts of spice.
Insane
brother.
amounts of
So
spice.
much spice you won't even be able to believe it.
You'll be seeing shit.
You go
It's
see-
very spicy, but almost no moisture is gonna come.
that actually, dude. If that,
not give your moisture to the dead.
do not.
Dude, that you immediately always are like, Muad'Dib, it's a very good name.
More
How do you
deep.
call the desert mouse?
He's very wise in the ways of the desert. He makes it
Dude.
on water.
Dude, every time I see that, like, because I think I saw
Also,
part 2.
they make him out to be a crazy person in the movie.
Because he becomes the most devout.
Stilgar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Stilgar's like the most level-headed motherfucker of all the Fremen.
No, he is the like they switched.
They what is murder his
They
his
character
identity.
assassination.
Yeah. It's
Well,
absolutely a
they
character assassin.
switched him and Chani in a way where it's like he becomes the more like zealot devout to Muad'Dib and Lisa Nagaib, like that. He is the one screaming that at the heavens, whereas Chani's the one going, I don't know.
It's
if
so
this-
dude.
like they-
Stilgar in the books is like the whole thing. Like the whole thing, he's like, you gotta kill him. Even though they do that whole thing, but like that part really hit me so bad. He's like, you'd want me to cut off my right hand right before a battle? Like, no, I'm not. Like, Stilgar's the man. Like, he's still gonna rule this siege. I'm gonna rule everybody.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Stilgar's the best in the books. In this one, character assassination, 100%.
Damn, dude.
It's still a moment of like, I need me a Stilgar in my life. I need someone to glaze me that hard, because like it is literally like Paul will go, no, dude, I'm not a god, and then he's like, he's so humble. Look at him.
That's exactly what a god would say.
It's like he's the humble man. We have been blessed.
Well, that's even crazier because the whole first book, Stilgar's like, all this stuff for the prophecy's happening, but I don't know if this is true or not.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go take a whole bunch of tests,
and
then I'm still gonna be kind of wibbly
because then
about it.
There's a point where he's like, where Jessica's like, what do I have to do? Like, I don't want to do this whole thing. I don't want to become the Reverend Mother. And he's like, the prophecy does say this. Like, I don't believe it, but like it does say.
He also says like, if you don't do this, like, I can't guarantee your safety after this.
100%. And here's another thing. I'm just gonna keep fuck it. We're gonna be roasted, but we're gonna have more to say after we watch it tonight. But the whole thing of they take he in the movie that he kills what's his name in his first fight.
Janis, something like
Jamis,
that. Someone with J. Jonathan.
Well, he kills him in the movie. He kills him like when they're out on the plains.
Yeah.
The other one, they go back to the siege,
and then he challenges
they
him.
fight there. Then the whole thing is they're like, "Hey, you won, so you get his water." Then he's like, "Hey, Johnny, can you help me hold this water?" And everyone's like, "Oh snap!" And he's like, "Why?" He's like, this is like a marriage thing that you do in marriage where the wife will take, and then they bring the water, and that's like their water. In the movie, they just pour the water into the well, and I was like, huh? You're just gonna what?
That doesn't make. They don't even have a fucking well.
Yeah, I know. So then there's just so much I have wrong with the second movie, and I think you'll like.
They do have a well, but it's full of the poison worm shit.
They do show that later, but that's a different.
It's also very cool.
Yeah, no, like again.
Yeah,
it's such a weird like that's why I just turned into
now being able to hear all of my issues because I've had to hold them in.
Yeah.
And you were like, BJ's gonna love that you hate this movie. And I was like, no, I love Denny. I love everything about this movie visually.
But it's one of those things where like that's why I'm like it's that confliction of like this is like genuinely a fucking great movie, but the second you start comparing it to the book, you're like, fuck.
I also have to remember that like with movies, there's a division of labor. That like he's the director and he wants to portray things a certain way, but that doesn't mean he wrote how this is going to be adapted.
I know he has people who write a lot of his movies. I'm pretty sure the same writers who wrote Dune wrote Blade Runner and Prisoners, I think. Or at the very least they wrote Arrival.
Yeah. So it's like, but with this one, like whoever's writing the adaptation is not him.
Denny still gets final say because it is his movie. Like what he wants is what's going to happen on screen. Mm-hmm. But it is a collaboration of like someone else is writing it, and they're probably sitting there going like, okay, how the fuck do we adapt this thing? Because it's the same thing of like how do you adapt a bunch of thought?
But it starts to feel though, now that we've been talking about it, more like Messiah vibes where the movie is really trying to heavily
overt right out the gate
and
instead
paint
of
Paul as this and try to paint somebody as like, no, they see the lies behind all of this. When it's like nobody saw the lie. No Fremen saw the lies and like what was going to happen.
They were conditioned to believe that their whole existence.
Like, that's also the other thing is like, yeah, what happens after is really fucked up, but like I don't know, it's a win for the Fremen. Who never had any wins.
They had shit.
Yeah, so it's like
it's that thing, where like that's what I was saying earlier. Is like clearly Denny has the knowledge and foresight of having Messiah and children out, knowing where they go, and now at least being able to make a cohesive movie trilogy. Whereas the books are, here's book 1. Fuck, I gotta make sure book 2 really slanders Paul. Okay, now I gotta kind of give him a little more of a redemption again, and like make it's like. He clearly was writing reactively to how people thought of his books, whereas Denny just gets to go, I'm going to write a story that's going to work in cohesion. That will work for this movie.
This makes you think that we really could do a book club.
Yeah. Pick one book, read it, have
Especially
an
now that
episode.
we have this thing. One of us gets an audiobook. We
Every
all
one
just listen
of
to
us has
throughout
it.
the week.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'd be down.
Mm-hmm. We could really do it.
But I was a little unfair. I do have... I know how you could fix Messiah, and it's not that hard. Because at the very beginning of the book, like, there's this guy that's being held as like a heretic because he's speaking out against Paul.
Heresy.
And then this guy comes in, he's like, you've been talking shit about the Emperor, who is our God, and you're a piece of shit. And the guy's like, no, he fucking... Look at all the stuff he did in the first book. And he's like, no. And then that's not connected to the rest of the story. They could have just done that scene and then just had it be normal without the pedophilia and without Duncan, Idaho, and with Gurney Halleck.
I think that's why I think I'm very interested in how we'll adapt Messiah, because clearly Aaliyah's going to be an adult because it's being played by Anya Taylor-Johnson. No, whatever her name is. Anya, the bitch from
the bitch
Queen's
from
Gambit.
the Menu or whatever that movie was.
Yeah, she's playing Aaliyah.
That's it.
Yeah, I said Aaron Taylor Johnson and then meant Anya Taylor, whatever the fuck. But she's playing Aaliyah.
Taylor Joy?
Yes, the blonde.
Yeah. Queen's
She's
Gambit.
gonna be playing Aaliyah, and clearly she's not a child. So it's the thing where that I
or
think,
even close to being a teenager.
yeah. So I think there's probably gonna be a larger time skip between part 2 and Messiah, where all right, Aaliyah's here, Paul's older, Duncan's back.
I think she's older than...
Timothy, yes. Yeah, but she got...
That's crazy.
Yeah. Hey,
They're gonna do some shit where it's like, because she got the visions in the womb, she grew exponentially fast like that baby from Twilight.
Yeah.
I think they're just gonna.
Got
I think they're just.
Buttons.
I think they're just gonna make her seem younger. Like
Maybe.
Smallville had Tom Welling.
If I don't see her like at least at least 3 feet tall, no, because the whole thing is she's a baby. That's a crazy baby.
Yeah, she fucking kills the
Duke.
the ruler, the Duke of a whole
Oh, no, the
planet.
Duke, yeah, the Baron.
And then she runs off because everybody's too freaked out to touch her after that, and she just goes out and kills more guys.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's crazy. And
Yeah.
then in the second one, she's like, I kind of want to fuck all these grown men.
Well, that's where I'm okay with her being older. If they're going to keep that shitty ass kind of like, Duncan, make her an adult, please, for the love of God.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I just, again, we'll have to watch part 2 because I have a general theory of where I think the next one's gonna go in terms of how it will lead to children. But again, that's just, and how it can push Paul further, either into the part, because like Messiah kind of is that thing where it's like, fuck, did I fuck up? And then their part in children where you're like, Paul's now like preaching how, no, Muad'Dib's a piece of shit and the Lisa Nagayushi stuff's bad. And you're like, oh, he's fully turned back and is now preaching against his own like legacy. So like I'm interested now. Again, now that you have like Denis has the whole story. Again, for film, he can make it just
I know
cohesive.
you're gonna tear through the Witcher books, though.
Yeah.
I know you are. Like Dune was like, again, Dune, 10 out of 10, amazing. Witcher, though, it's like that same thing. It's like,
Witcher has its ups and downs for me, but like as I kept
oh no,
going
it was
and
like
going
that thing where I just got more addicted.
Yeah.
Like, the further I got in, and it was just like Dune's the best thing I've ever listened
But
to.
I really fuck with Witcher, yeah.
Witcher's my
it's the
favorite.
thing.
You
Like
just-
if I had to sit back and objectively rate each book, I could probably tell you, well, this one's kind of worse than this one and this one. I don't give a fuck.
I got so addicted.
I
to
don't
Witcher.
care. The world and the characters kept me invested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%. I kept on because I didn't want to get an Audible account, so I just kept on finding videos on YouTube.
Like your YouTube, like
and
the actual
because I
audiobook.
had YouTube Premium, I could download them, but they kept on getting taken down. So like before I would stop, I'd have to like write down the time thing in case the next day the video was
Video is gone. You
So
have to
that-
find it again.
find it again, and then go to the part, and it was awesome.
I think the only reason I have all the Witcher books is because there was a point where I forgot I had Audible, like, and I let it went for
Just
months.
built up credits.
Yeah, so I had enough credits to go, oh, let me just get the whole Witcher series in a row.
I got this deal like a month back that was like, hey, you want 3 months of Audible? We'll give it to you for $1.50 every 3 of those months. So I was like, all right, sweet. Let me get that. My next credit coming up, I have to finish a series that I've been reading for a while, the Butterfly Garden one that I told you about. The last book in that is the last one I need to get, and then I'll probably do Witcher. Because I'm 2 hours away from finishing Messiah.
I'm like, I want to say like 3 hours into, I think 3 hours until I'm finished with Eisenhorn as a whole, and then I'm done with that one, and then I'm gonna probably move on to Caiaphas Cain because that seems fun. And then we'll see where I go from there.
If BJ does get into Siege of Terra,
if he gets back into Siege of Terra, I will jump back into Siege of
then we
Terra,
can-
and we'll
then
do
we-
that. Could be our book club thing of like, let's go one by one.
I mean, I'd also do it with Witcher,
yeah. If you did it,
but
I'd
I would
read it
really
again.
want to do it with Siege of Terra because I mean, I think it was on 4th of July when we were all kind of fucked up, but BJ and I were like talking. He's like, I know I'd like the content of the Warhammer stuff, and I was like, I know you would too. It goes so hard.
I mean,
It's literally all the like.
I genuinely think if for whatever reason Siege didn't draw you in immediately, I just genuinely I think Eisenhorn is a great introduction to Warhammer that like can get you in. You go, cool, I fuck with the setting so much right now, I want to go wherever, and then you just start going to Siege because then you can go, cool, well I had like the human stuff, give me Space Marines.
Well, I mean, I already know all the stuff from Warhammer because Matt told it to me in a very special episode that you should go watch, and also because I just read Dune and it's all the same shit.
It is, AI Wars,
Emperor of Mankind,
the fact, and you were talking about how like
planet bombing, which they do in Warhammer.
the how like guns aren't really useful, and when in like terms of Space Marines, like that's the thing. It's like they'll shoot at each other, but every fight ends up
with sword or punch
combat,
or
which
hammer.
is the coolest part. I'm like, stop shooting each other, pull out your swords.
Yep.
And those are the best fights.
Hand-to-hand
combat.
Where I read a part in Eisenhower where he literally like, because he's a human, so bolters and shit will like actually kill you.
Yeah, decimate his stomach.
He pulled out like a fucking like great sword that has like flames on it and shit.
Is it a power sword?
And just like decimates people. Well, because he's a human, so it's not like I think full Space Marine shit, but it's like similar. And he just fucking like slices through people, and I'm sitting there reading going like, oh fuck yes.
There's a part where it's very early on in Warhammer where they talk about it's from a perspective of just a guy that's been enlisted. He wasn't even in the army before. They're like, hey, the horse is coming to kill us. Congratulations,
here's your helmet, here's your gun.
Yeah. And they're like sitting in these trenches like as like some of the first waves begin, and they're like they see like these kind of like demon guys, and they're like, oh, and they finally get through a wave of those guys, and then they hear like the ground like shaking, and then they're like, what's happening? And they start to see the outline of Space Marines, and all of them are like we're
cooked.
Turn to the guy.
They start
they just
shooting.
They turn to the guy going, it was nice knowing you,
They
buddy.
start shooting, and the main guy, the perspective is from is Katsuhiro. He looks over, and he like describes about somebody what it looks like when somebody gets hit by a Space Marine shell, and it's just like this guy gets blown in half, and then it says like half of his torso falls one way, and the other half of his torso falls down. And he collapses, and I was like, bro, this is so rad.
Who wrote Solar War? Was that Dan Abnett or Guy Haley?
I thought it was French. Dan
Or
I think he's
John
the
French.
I think he's the voice actor.
John French.
Whoever
let me
wrote-
go grab
yeah.
that shit. I got it on the shelf.
Whoever wrote Solar War, the way they described the planet
Oh
being
my
imploded,
gosh, that brought me to Dune of like talking about scale in
like
a way that I could never.
experiencing a planet imploding on itself from the ground level of people was fucking incredible.
Or when they say like shells the size of mountains.
yeah, like
like a bullet the size of a mountain. Who is it?
John French, you're right.
John French, yeah. So
The
because
bullets the size of mountains like being hurled out of macro cannons. I was like I'm driving and I see a hill and I'm
you're just like fuck.
fuck.
Yeah, the way they describe a fucking planet implosion from the perspective of people on the planet, and then the next chapter is it's like you see the planet explode. It's like fuck, dude.
Yeah, no, scale is.
Yeah, when I think I texted you, I was like, did they fucking nuke a planet?
Yes, Pluto.
Yeah, I was like, holy shit.
That's not a planet.
That's not.
Dude.
That's what makes the Warhammer universe good.
They blew up
Pluto was
Pluto.
still a planet.
Pluto was a planet until
Yeah,
the Horus Heresy blew
the
it
God
up.
Emperor said, "I think the Pluto still deserves to be a planet."
That's what united us.
They're like,
Yeah.
yes, and then Horus went, fuck that planet.
Yeah, because that's like the outrim
Yeah.
galaxy defense point.
It's
And
basically
well, they talk about when all of Horus's ships start to come through and the cascading fire of like one ship exploding, but because they're so close to each other and they're so big, like a hull
chain reaction
would go into the other one, and it was just this thing. And then until this one ship like plows through after. Oh, so good. Yeah, scale is in that, like the walls. That's the now the most common thing that we talk about scale in these letter books is just like how big the walls are on Terra. And
like you realize how big a space marine is,
Yeah.
and then you realize that the wall is like what the Empire State Building is to us, to them.
Yeah.
So it's
yeah,
like
and
it's
there's,
like you're like, oh, and
parts
that's the
inside.
wall.
There's
Yeah.
parts inside where they're like, yeah, Titan could easily fit in there, and they're like, Dorn must have designed it that way so that Titans could fight inside the palace. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, like it's like it's
damn.
that fucking big. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
The Imperial Palace is crazy big.
I mean, isn't it? Because how the Emperor is what 10 feet taller. He's the taller one, right? Compared to the Space Marines.
Yeah, he's
And the Primarchs, he's the, like,
the tallest. Vulcan's the tallest Primarch.
Yeah.
Um,
Which is why he fit on that chair.
Yeah, Vulcan's like 17 feet tall, right?
Vulcan's huge.
Yeah, but like the Emperor, like every time you see like pictures drawn or painted of the Emperor sitting on the throne, it is like a fucking that alone is a palace size of like the Emperor's body, the throne, all the stuff connected to it, and they always paint people around where they're just like tiny, like revering, like oh. Like
There
shit
was
like that.
one part that was really good that I think you will like when you listen to it. Is the only time there's been another voice actor. Actually, that's not true. They've had others, but the best time they've had another voice actor or reader in the audiobooks is for a silent sister, and it's every time she like thinks things. So it's all her perspective because silent sisters
They cannot speak.
They cannot speak.
Are the Silent Sisters the blanks or no?
Yes, they're
Yeah,
nulls.
they're blanks. Yeah.
The nulls are the things where they cancel out, but
Yeah.
it's all of stuff from her perspective, and she's like, I can't tell. Like, in the Borderlands trailer for the Psycho, where he's like, I want to tell her how I feel. It's literally her going
That.
like, I want to tell him this, but he won't understand me. And it's a woman doing it, and it's phenomenal.
I'm
here.
the conductor of the poop train.
That's right.
No, there's a blank character in Eisenhorn.
Well, blanks. You mean a blank or a null?
Well, whatever ones can like that make psychers physically ill. Like everybody's
Nulls.
they're either blanks or nulls. I forget the exact nulls. I think is what you're right. But the ones who, no matter who you are, you're uneasy around them. Psychers especially
That's a null.
are like
Blanks
visibly
are
like
people that like have no connection to the world.
yeah.
Because that's a big deal because like humans have souls which connects them to the warp, but if you're blank somehow
Somehow your soul is not connected at all.
yes, which is
really weird.
yeah,
And
so that's a
yeah.
blank. A
So
null
is Titus a blank?
No.
people think that he is a psyker, which is why he can deal with
Why he can actually deal with all that shit.
All the
Although
stuff.
Dude, imagine Space Marine if he gets like psyker shit.
that's the whole thing.
Yeah.
And because Ultramarines are like ultra against that.
They're like, that's some
Ultra
heretic shit.
everything.
Yeah. So, he's pretty much
Well, that would make sense why that one guy fucking hates him.
Yeah, so that's like it's pretty much confirmed that he's a psyker, and that's why he can handle it. But he just hasn't
He hasn't unlocked the abilities
awakened
of a
his
psyker
psyche,
yet.
and he hasn't trained it.
Imagine Space Marine 3 that happens, and you get like an entire like just kit of psyker shit.
in
as a
Final
Space
Fantasy
Marine.
16, where you can like press and get a whole new
That
a
would be
whole new set
rad
of
as
Whole
weapons,
new
fuck.
wheel.
a whole new wheel. It's just that with
That'd be
Titus.
so sick.
It would be so sick.
I would love for the next game to just go full action with shit like that. Just have Platinum do the combat.
Oh, dude. Dude, using Unreal 5 and having Platinum just make a full... I think Platinum can make a really good, like... Because Space Marines are obviously, like I
keep
think,
it
big
not
and
as
tanky.
flary as Platinum games
Yeah.
are. But
We'll
keep
probably
the
have,
difficult, because the whole thing is Space Marines fucking difficult.
Yeah.
Keep that. Don't make it flary, but do like fast paced.
I mean, I think
dodging, parrying.
you could do a Transformers Devastation. Those big hulking Transformers
that would feel really
have that
good
weight to
with a
them.
Space Marine.
That then if you give that to a Space Marine, but like again, you'd have just due to the nature of the genre, you'd embellish a little bit of like, all right, he's like gonna quick dodge this way, even though he's not supposed to move that fast. Actually, in the lore, well, fuck it, just be
But
like,
maybe
hey, look,
it's a
or just-
psyker thing. where
yeah,
he's
again,
like,
you could just say,
Yeah.
fuck it, his
Or
psyker
just have
powers.
him be like a Custodes, which
Yeah.
we get so much Custodes like perspectives, and you realize that Space Marines ain't shit.
Yeah, dude.
They just keep on doing this thing where you're like, they're gonna build up. This you start from human perspective, then you move up to Space Marine perspective,
Move up to
and then
like Custodes and
Custodes,
Primarchs.
and you're like,
Because
when does this end? Everyone's like, there's not a person better than everybody else, and you're like, oh, that's the end.
the Custodes are the ones that are directly under the Emperor, right?
Yeah, and they're the only ones that technically, other than Primarchs, have the genetic DNA. So technically, Space Marines have the genetic DNA of the Emperor because they have the genetic
of the
Primarch.
Primarch.
Seed.
But
They're birthed from the gene seed, whereas the Custodes are directly from the
Yes,
DNA of the Emperor.
yes,
Which isn't that why? Because I know like the debate on like women and the Warhammer
And
shit. Isn't Custodes
Prim-
the only one that actually can have a woman in their ranks because it's just they're straight up being built from the ground up? Because you can't.
they changed the lore,
Well, I'm saying for Custodes, 'cause I know
They changed the lore.
I know Space Marines can't
and
because
they
of the gene
cha-
seed.
and they changed the lore, which is why people were
Yeah.
pissed. Not because a woman, and there's plenty of badass women. That's the other thing. It's like we don't need a Custodes woman, which they now have walked back that decision.
I think they have. Because my thing is,
They wrote in
yeah.
that there was a woman Custodes, and people were like, "That's not possible." And they're like, "Anything's possible."
Well,
And they're like,
I've always
okay.
viewed it as that made sense for the Custodes, not the Space Marines, because they're being built directly from a gene seed of that guy, whereas the Emperor is way more powerful, can just kind of do what he wants and just goes, I don't know, fuck it, that, and just can make whatever. Whereas,
But I'm also
yeah,
pretty sure though that
that's at least how I understood
Yeah.
it was from there. But like, yeah, because I know Henry Cavill runs the Custodes, and
Yes.
as his like Space Marine like Legion army,
Mm-hmm.
which is really funny from the game perspective because like in lore, Custodes are like.
Yeah, no one's supposed to be able to step to them.
But then you play the tabletop and like, yeah, you could just be beaten by the Necrons.
Yeah, no, it's all a level playing field with you know,
everybody kind of has to roughly
yeah,
be.
yeah.
Which,
Everyone has a number value, so if you have one guy that's worth 10, you can have 5 guys worth 2.
Yeah, it's a gamifying the lore kind of thing.
didn't,
Yeah.
there was a while where the only Primarch you could run was Guilliman because he was the only one active in the lore, which they've now added more anyway. Just like fuck it, bring him in the game.
Yeah, the line's back.
Yeah, because which that I still need to get in. I want to get more into that because I have the Dark Imperium trilogy, which is Guilliman like centric, but I want to read the stuff leading to that because I need to get to the Fall of Cadia, where that whole shit happens because that leads to that like the era Indomitus stuff,
But
which is where
Fall
there's
of
the
Cadia
giant.
before that is the Horus Heresy.
Is it because Fall of Cadia is like directly tied to Guilliman's resurrection and coming back?
But the Fall of Cadia has to do with the Eye of Terra, which is the big warp gate that opened into the sky
Oh,
above,
yeah.
which happens at the end of Horus Heresy.
Yeah. Okay.
Everything connects.
Yeah. It also is a fun thing because, like we were saying, of like them changing the lore. Because I was looking into this of some people being like, "Yeah, they've been doing that shit since day fucking one."
They kind of have walked back the woman Custodes thing.
Yeah.
Which is, again, there's plenty of badass women.
For me, I never cared about the Custody part. I was more of like, well, I don't think a Space Marine can. But like to me, Custodies were like, the Emperor has the crazy genetics that you could probably just say like, yeah, fuck it, the woman could be a Custody. But like, but a Primarch, but like a Primarch is straight up like this is Sanguinius's DNA, and he's a dude, and he's not as powerful as the Emperor, who's like also a psyker and all this other shit. So all of them are now like I just assumed all of the like Blood Angels kind of look like Sanguinius in a way, whereas like all of the Ultramarines kind of look like, you know what I mean?
So they.
At least I feel like that's what they used to be like. They might have changed that around.
The whole thing is that they used to come from one planet. That was like the planet that the Primarch was from. Is like their whole thing is that you would get people from that planet, unless the Primarch has a crazy backstory where the planet is like not a good planet, but it usually is like they grew up on this planet. They learned to like love the hardship, and the people there are all hardy. You
like
know?
the Jagatai Kai.
Yeah,
like, they're
yeah.
all
And
like,
so then, and the Jagatai's like, I don't want people outside of this community because
These are my boys.
They're not going to be like me and know growing
Yeah,
up.
they're not going to know the tactics or the customs.
Yes, exactly. So then, and then after the Horus Heresy, they started, or like during, they were like, okay, we need to.
we need more men.
Yes, so
build
then
armies off the GC.
Yes, so they would just grab random people, random initiates, and yeah.
My favorite thing about that, because like I didn't realize how important the gene seed was until I heard about, I forget what book it is, but it's the Blood Angels getting overrun by Tyranids, and they're like, get the fucking gene seed off this planet. If the Tyranids get it, we're fucked.
Yeah,
because
well,
they could just
nobody
make god Tyranids at that
exactly.
Yeah.
They would just make
They'd make it Blood Angel Tyranids would be a nightmare.
Before that, they didn't really have a thought, and then somebody in the middle of a room went, "Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit!"
Yeah, dude, because I was listening to like just like it's like moments of every Space Marine chapter that's like rad as fucking like the biggest Blood Angel thing was that they almost went extinct because obviously Sanguinius died by Horus, and the Blood Angels have been basically like trying to keep the kindled flame alive almost, and they're like, we're gonna die, get the gene seed out.
They also have a really weird way of doing gene seed. A lot of them, it's just like, okay, it happens. The surgery is going to take this long, and there's recovery time. Initiates for Blood Angels are like, all right, we're going to inject
blood.
You're gonna drink the blood, and then we're
gonna
gonna
hallucinate.
We're gonna put the gene seed in you. Then we're gonna lock you in a coffin for 3 years, and hope. And
hope you survive.
Yeah, I mean they like have
hope you don't
people
go crazy.
tending to their bodies, but like you're just locked in a coffin. It's called, I think. Yeah, sanguination. Yeah, something like that.
They like it's the most
glad the exsanguinator.
Yeah.
It's the most outwardly edgy of like this, like, but not counting Chaos Space Marines of the loyalists. They're the most like edgy ones. I feel
it's goth edgy.
Yeah.
There's nothing edgy about Chaos Marines. You have like the sex fiends.
Well, like edgy in the sense of like
the sex lusty,
the Egyptian ones.
Well,
the Egyptian ones.
There's the ones from Space Marine 2 is the Egyptian ones, right?
The
Thousand Sons. They're my favorite because they're. I'm pretty sure they did almost like a Necron thing where they're like, we want to not die or whatever it was, and now they're just the body.
This is a thing. So I told you I had a couple of the novellas in my adult.
Yeah.
So there's I think 3 or 5 part Horus Heresy novella collection.
Is that the
about
Magnus one? Yeah.
The third one's the only one that matters.
Yeah.
But it all takes place. The whole thing is, so Magnus learns that Horus is going to betray them, goes to run to Dad. He uses the warp way with his crazy, because he's a really powerful psyker.
And explodes the warp way.
Dad's super angry. He's so angry at him and like gets him out of here. So then Malkador is like, hey, we need to go help Magnus and like get him and his guys out of here. So he sends the Space Wolves, who are notorious for like killing, like that's like the Emperor's assassination team. Like those are the guys that are really good at killing other Space Marines.
Are the Space Wolves the Viking ones or no?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
So he sends them. Then Horus intercepts that and tells Magnus like, hey, your dad's sending these guys to come kill you. And then he was like, oh fuck yeah, like he was so angry at me when I told him about you. And he's like, it's okay, you can join me. So then this one guy does this really powerful spell to try to take their whole planet and try to like zap it into another area to like escape. And as that happens, like his whole legion like dies essentially, except for like 1,000 guys. And so now Magnus only has like 1,000 of his dudes
1,000
left.
sons.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so then they there was a problem with the gene seeds that like, you know, like Sanguinius has the thing with like the red thirst. And so because Magnus is like a psyker, a lot of his guys were psychically susceptible to chaos. Mm-hmm. And so they were trying to protect them from that. So they used the spell to like try to protect them from chaos. And it was like one of those things where it's like the genie gives you a wish, but then it's not.
You technically get the wish you wanted.
You ask for the biggest dick in the world, and then it reduces everybody else's dick size.
We want them to be protected from the warp. And what's the thing that protects them? Like the thing that connects you to the warp is
soul.
A soul. So then they all become Edward Elric,
Yeah.
where they do not have a physical body. Their soul is tied to
their
the
Space
their
Marine
armor. So that's why when you kill them in Space Marine 2,
They just
just poof.
their purple mist poof away.
and
yeah.
sand. They're filled with
Yeah.
sand.
It's so funny that like that happens, and I'm like, man, that really is history repeating itself, because the Necrons did the exact same thing. We're like, oh yes, like these gods came down and were like, hey, we'll give you immortality. They're like, fuck yeah, dude, absolutely, cool. We're gonna eat all your souls and make you robots.
So in the Fear of
Technically immortal.
Magnus book, he goes and talks to Malkador, and he's like, why did you send these guys to come kill me? He's like, I didn't. And he's like, what? And he's like, yeah, who told you that we were going to come to kill you?
Horus.
And he goes, Horus, and he goes, oh, fuck. And he's like, well, it's too late now. I'm angry.
I love the idea.
So
It's like
funny.
Horus, and the guy's like, really?
Oh, shit.
You
Oh,
believe the betrayer?
Yeah, 100%.
Didn't Vulcan beat the shit out of him too? Wasn't that like a big fight, or was it? Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Vulcan trounced
Magnus
him.
got so mad that he kept on coming back to life that he just like gave up.
Yeah, because Vulcan just
And then,
doesn't
and then
die.
Vulcan would just come back and then beat his ass again and again and again.
Where is it? What?
Vulcan,
so
Idaho.
Vulcan
right.
didn't because he can't die. Where is he currently in lore? Is he just somewhere like on his planet? Like, what is his deal
he
right now?
chased, which is the sad thing about most of the Primarchs after the Horus Heresy, is they all chased. They chased people that they hated into the Eye of Terra, so they went into the warp to go fight. And so, but if anybody's gonna come back,
It'll be Vulcan.
it'll be Vulcan. To be fair, though, the more I read, the more I realize that there's really most of the Primarchs will come back.
Well,
Because it was the Emperor's idea was he's gonna make artificial perpetuals, and Vulcan's the only one who is a actual perpetual. But you learn that it wasn't actually a gift, like his special ability, because they all have special.
Yeah,
you realize that it wasn't actually a special ability from the Emperor, that it was actually a gift, because perpetuals can give, this is where it becomes weird, is perpetuals can give their
perpetual ability to somebody else.
and you learn, and it's somebody that is in the books, and then they meet up, and Vulcan's like, hey, you did that thing for me, and he was like, yeah, I also tried to kill you, and he was like, yeah, but then you saved me.
So it's all
like,
good, dude.
But like right when they're talking about this, Vulcan, all the custodies like pull their swords out to this person's neck, and then Vulcan goes, but then you saved me, so we're good. And then he was like, why didn't you just like, why did
Can you
have
start
to...
with that?
I'm
actually,
joking.
Yeah, I'm joking. So
do
me
it.
that.
This is part of the
Vulcan-
last.
me that immortality.
Vulcan,
Vulcan's the best.
yeah, there's a couple people that could come back. Conrad Kurz,
Jagadai's still running around, right? Oh,
we don't know. He went to the Eye of Terra.
okay. Because I think realistically, Guilliman's the only like major Primarch who has come back.
The Lion's coming back. That's like a confirmed thing.
Do we
Lion
have?
L. Johnson.
Do we have
Dark
any?
Angels?
Do we have anything
That's a
about?
stupid fucking name.
It is.
Lion L. Johnson.
Lionel Johnson.
Do we know?
It's not Lionel too. It's
Lion
Lion
L.
L. Johnson.
Do we?
Lion space L period Johnson.
Yes.
No. Lion space E-L.
Yeah, like
space.
Lion the Johnson.
Lion the Johnson. Yes.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Do we know? So there are 20 Primarchs. 2 are been either erased from history, right?
Allegedly.
Do we know if that will ever actually come into
So
play?
you want to hear?
They're holding
you
on
wanna
to that
hear-
shit.
You want to hear the running theory? That
Yeah.
I think is a very good one.
Yeah.
Is that the whole thing? Is the Emperor goes to like find his sons?
Because wasn't it the Chaos Gods like yeeted them all to different like they're like get rid of all of them, right?
I don't want to spoil some stuff because
Well, because I've obviously listened to like some
But
stuff.
we know that they all got separated.
I'm pretty
And
sure it
then
was the Chaos Gods
They could
separated
find
them,
most
Okay.
of them.
and then the Emperor went on the Great Crusade to find them.
yes. Okay, so here's the theory.
Yeah.
Is the Emperor would like find them on these planets, and most of the time the Emperor would like disguise himself as something, kind of like figure it out, and then he would approach them in either another disguise,
Or
a
just
lot of
as the
times he
Emperor,
would
yeah.
just like go and like he wouldn't like be like I found you.
he would just like test them.
Yeah, he would test them, or sometimes he would just observe them to see what they were up to. The theory is that 2 of them were corrupted so poorly from the planet they were on and the life that they had that the Emperor was like, "There's no way I can raise this person up to be a good part of the Imperium."
Like they're so
and
fucked.
sent the Space Wolves to go kill them.
Damn.
Which is very plausible. It's like, it's almost like
Do you-
100. Like there's no way that there are still 2 Primarchs that were.
Yeah, we would know by this point.
Yeah,
They'd
no,
be off-world killing people.
They're dead. They're absolutely dead. And
because I was
the
gonna
Emperor
say,
had them killed.
I was gonna say, do you think there is a possibility due to chaos magic or some shit that like they could come back, or is it
so
like
the
they're
thing
gone
is though,
forever?
it's like I feel like there's a point for every Primarch to come back because they're like artificial perpetuals.
Yeah.
But the weird thing with perpetuals is like when perpetuals die, sometimes it's like 10,000 years before they come back. Like,
well, I was gonna say, do you,
you know, sometimes it's like, oh damn, that was a crazy nap, and then sometimes they just die and immediately, like Vulcan
just comes back?
dies and immediately is begins to reform.
'Cause
Like,
I was
or,
thinking, like,
as his part of his body's dying, it's just like, yeah, his healing ability is like,
He's got that Deadpool shit.
yeah,
Yeah.
or Logan.
Or faster, yeah.
yeah.
Because I was
Deadpool is technically faster.
technically, yes.
It's just the cancer fights it so heavily.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But
No, yeah, it is like that.
because I was thinking of like the 2 that I'm like, man, that would be a crazy, like, for whatever, I don't know what edition they're on
Yeah,
the game.
new expansion.
Yeah, and it's like the return, like
we're in 41.
yeah, well, like, I mean, like, because they're like, I'm talking like, you know, like D&D editions, because they do the same thing. It's like, oh, we're in 10th edition or whatever.
Yeah,
of
of
Warhammer.
the game.
Yeah, of the game, where they go,
Okay.
we're in edition 12. This never before seen Primarch appears and starts raining havoc, makes an entire new, you know, piece for the game. Because here's these new crazy Space Marine, or not even Space Marines, you can do something crazy.
They did it.
Yeah.
They'll do it with like lore because, like, the lion's coming back, so we're definitely going to get a new lion.
Yeah,
like,
new Lionel John Dark Angel's going to get a huge
or
probably
mini,
push.
yeah,
yeah.
it's going to be one of those things.
Because I just think it'd be a really cool way of introducing a new piece to the board. Because when was the most recent one? Was the Tau, right? What? And that's been like in terms of adding an actual like new faction to the game was the Tau, I believe.
I think you're right.
And that was like
Because in lore, they were a late discovered, like
Yeah.
the most latest discovered planet.
and the Tau seemed just kind of boring to me.
I don't know. They lick their mechs.
Yeah, but
so do I.
yeah, fair. But like I don't know, comparatively, like
they have space communism,
yeah.
one for all, but they also have the worst caste system of all time. Like you, no matter what you do, you're gonna be in like a tier of society, no matter what you do, and it's just how things work. It's all for the greater good. You can't get out of it. Your family is always gonna be in this class. You're never getting out.
It's so funny to me that like if any of these like factions in Space Marine were in any other storyline or world, they would just be the villains you fight. Mm-hmm. And it's like, but no, because everybody in Warhammer is the worst. You have to just pick, all right, which is the lesser of the evils? Probably the humans, because the Dark Eldar are the fucking most vile evil shit. The Tyranids are just a hungry like fucking
Horde.
infestation.
Yeah.
Orcs do what orcs do.
Orcs are fun.
Orcs are fun.
Orcs are very
but like
fun.
they just like killing and fighting, and they like reproduce
the
like
idea
rabbits.
of them are scarier. That they are a plant, like a
A
fungus
fungus that just grows.
that grows, and
Yeah.
once they're on your planet, you'll never get them off.
You'll never get rid of them.
The idea, but then when you see one, they're like, oh, what you
Oh,
doing?
Space Marine!
I go, that's pretty fun.
Yeah,
That's pretty fun.
killing them
cool
in
guy.
But that forever, that's not
I'm
fun.
good. Yeah.
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 in Space Marine 1, fun villain. If they showed
It's like
back
if
up,
Shrek was always on your TV and you couldn't get it off.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're like,
get out of me, swamp.
All right, now this is scary. I
Yeah.
can't get him off of here.
He won't leave.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
I called the power company. There's nothing they can do.
Yeah, I've unplugged the TV. It's still
still
going.
there.
God is punishing me clearly.
You're literally like screaming up, "God, Emperor, what have I done?"
We ran quite long. So
Yeah.
before we end, I would just like to apologize for hijacking the podcast with Dune Talk.
This was great.
This is awesome.
As I said, we haven't done a good book episode ever.
I know we had a thing, and I saw a path in my mind as soon as I started talking about Dune, and I tried to avoid the path, but somehow fate kept putting me back on it.
Well, as always,
Take it sleazy.